Competitiveness. What is it about competing that brings out some interesting flirting? Is it the playing? Yeah, we're playing, right? So we go back to trash talking and braggadocio. So singles mingle, flirting sequence, competitiveness. Challenge her to a tournament or a competition. Could be tag, making sand sculptures, sand castles, hopscotch, foosball, air hockey. Anything you can think of, make it silly, make it young. The idea with flirting is to be playful as much of the time as you can. You're competing to win, or are you competing to have fun? Can you trash talk about your hopscotch? Think about all the sponsors that I got last year. Oh yeah, I'm totally trash talking that one. What is the most creative trash talking you can do about your hopscotch game? Your sponsors, what your sponsors want, what they require from you. If you approach life, all of life in this playful manner, you're going to come up with some stories. So think about the stories that you can tell. If you approach life in this manner, think about some of the stories you can tell. Even a mundane story is entertaining with this frame of reference. Take it over the top, and she knows you're flirting, playing with her. It becomes more enjoyable. Be creative. Think of how you can transform a regular story like, hey, how was your day? Or where do you want to go for dinner tonight? The literal brain is dying to answer it literally. Use figurative, metaphorical brain to get across the feeling, or try just being silly. Hey Don, how was your day today? Remember, you can exaggerate for effect. You're not lying, you're embellishing or using hyperbole to get your point across. The point is not an accurate story or details. It's a connection where they feel their feelings. You're evoking emotion, or you're playing, or you're teasing. I had the best day ever. I just love my job. I had a couple today who made my week. They were so good with their communication. They were holding hands and loving each other by the time they left the session. This was a couple that had a rough patch a little bit before that. They told me about having sex in the parking lot before a session. Oh my goodness. They loved that my retort was, yeah, we all been there. Mind you, I'm pretty straight-laced as far as they know. And to be the opposite of my image caught them by surprise. I was poking fun at myself. And while I was flirting with them, it wasn't that kind of flirting. They became more playful. It helped them open up. That being said, I did have to call the pouncer. Make yourselves relatable. Self-deprecating humor could go either way. I could take myself seriously or not. If it's too self-deprecating and you keep painting yourself in a light that looks bad on you, you don't really want to remind her to look at you in that manner. So remind her of something she said in her profile or from earlier in the evening. That could be another way to connect. Hey, your memory might not be as great as it once was, but why not memorize a couple things from her profile? Maybe have a witty thing to say about those 3 things. Hey, I read your profile. I let the idea marinate. I thought through something that lets her know I was thinking about her. I care enough to put in the time. Remember, effort's sexy. And then I comment during the date. It does impress people when you take the time and effort to consider them. So how do you practice it? Well, practice memorizing those things. Look at the profile. What would you comment on? What would be funny? What would be silly? So knowing the theory is important. Now you got to practice it. So think about what you would do. If I read that in your profile, what would I say about that? So I'm practicing it. I'm coming up with witty ideas. So I'm also visualizing it. I'm practicing it in my mind's eye. And I see myself practicing correctly, and I see myself implementing the skill and it going my way. I visualize myself feeling confident. I'm dressed the way that I like. I smell good. I look good. The conversation's going well. Now remember, your confidence is not dependent on outside forces. Only you determine how confident you feel. That's always the case. There aren't exceptions to that. If you say, oh, somebody else made me feel not confident, that's just wrong. I'm sorry, but that's just wrong. You have to confront yourself on that. Nothing from the outside must or has to or is required to affect you unless you want it to affect you. To think otherwise is to go into victim thinking, and you're not a victim. So you did the visualization. You looked at the skill. It went well. You're at a skill of excellence. That's your level. You're not at perfection because nobody is. So feel the feelings of it going well. your brain thinks it really happened. So your brain's like, all right, nice job. Hey, let's do that again. Do multiple reps, and your brain's like, oh my God, you got this down. You should feel so confident in that. So the video in your head, make sure it's color, high definition, make sure it's a good picture, big picture. Make sure that you put confidence in there. Your posture, your voice, your humor, everything's perfect and you're in flow. All right, so with this visualization, your confidence goes even higher. You're playful, you're silly, you're having a lot of fun. Good. Practice, 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 lots of reps. Can you imagine if we were all better at dating? Oh my goodness, what impact would that have? Not hurting each other, played by similar rules. Everybody understands what's happening, and we eliminate some of the guesswork and the mind reading. Please hit like and subscribe. It helps me spread the message of good, respectful dating and changes the culture of dating. If you want more resources, check out my website at boyscounseling.com.